What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Warstu here, back with another video on the Justice League Snyder Cut movie, aka Zack Snyder's Justice League movie that is currently coming out in 2021, although I think it could be coming out a little bit later based on comments from HBO Max's boss. So let's get into this video. So if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. At the 100,000 subscriber mark, I will be giving away something that's pretty damn cool. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and that will help this small YouTube channel grow. So there's a lot of articles going around about how the Zack Snyder Justice League movie came about. There's a very interesting one on comicbook.com with one of the bosses from HBO Max who explained. So we're talking about Bob Greenblatt said the following about the budget and how complex it is. And to be honest, it does sound pretty complex. And it took a long time for them to actually agree on what was actually going to happen. It isn't as easy as going into the vault and there's a Snyder Cut sitting there to put out, Greenblatt explained. It doesn't exist, and I know what you guys are going to say, the same thing as me. Yo, Warstu, it does exist. So it does exist, but not in the capacity that they could upload it to HBO Max and it could launch tomorrow. So it doesn't exist in its full entity, and you guys know I supported the release of Snyder Cut back from 2017, so I'm fully on this. This is a direct quote of what he's saying. It doesn't exist. Zack is actually building, and it's quite complex, including new VFX shot. It's a radical rethinking of the movie. And then you hear reports of people saying they're not doing any reshoots, it's just dialogue. But then you hear this quote from an HBO Max boss saying, radically rethinking of what the movie is. It's complicated and widely expensive. I'll just say, I wish it was just 30 million, stop there. It's an enormous undertaking and very complex. Now, to me, this is evidence to me that it could involve multiple reshoots, which is very interesting. The statement that he said brings us right back to the central question that's really at the heart of the Snyder Cut release, namely, what's Warner Bros' main goal here by releasing it? Because obviously AT&T own Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers traditionally are the studio, and it's a lot of money to invest. So is the SnyderVerse back on course? Now, we did a video a few days ago going over exactly what the Snyder plan is exactly. I will leave it on a card right over now. But is Warner Bros investing all this money for a one-off Snyder Cut movie, or a 4-hour Justice League movie, or a 6-part miniseries? After hearing these comments from HBO Max's boss, I don't believe that is the case. I really don't believe that is the case, because it makes no sense to say it's more than just, you know, adding some VFX in, etc. So there's an interesting conversation going around with some insiders, inverted comments, about reshoots and additional photography are looking more likely after this quote, I wish it was just 30 million more. And then insider Umberto, who's a pretty cool guy, said this: easy answer, Gal Gadot has to go back and shoot Red Notice, then another project. Ezra has to shoot Fantastic Beasts 3, then go into Flash, hence those two films have been booked for an entire year. Honestly, I don't believe this Flash movie's ever coming. I really don't believe we're ever going to see Barry Allen, Grant Gustin. Well, we're more likely going to see Grant Gustin playing the Flash in the movie than Ezra Miller. I do not believe he's playing the role. Then Aquaman 2 goes January and Jason's unavailable for 9 months. So if this is the case, and if they do need additional photography, then that's Gal Gadot who's not available, Ezra Miller's not available, Momoa's not available. But I don't really think if there is going to be new scenes added or reshoots that it would take more than a few days, which is very interesting. So it's interesting that Zack Snyder and HBO Max are basically saying it's going to be a brand new complete movie. Then other people are like, nah bro, it's only dialogue, it's only HDR, which doesn't make much sense in the narrative that it's very complex. If it's very complex, adding new scenes, adding VFX, adding scenes from the archive, it's like HBO Max themselves are trying to make it more complicated than it is, which insinuates there will be reshoot for sure. So there was a scoop that went over a few days ago that said no, it's just additional dialogue. So what exactly is this? So there's something called automated dialogue replacement, and essentially what this is, it's a process of re-recording dialogue by the original actor or a replacement actor after the film process to improve the audio quality or reflect dialogue Changes are also known as looping or a looping session, and this could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. It can save a movie, it can change a movie, and it can make it seem like it's a new scene when realistically it's just the voice actors who were in the movie just coming back to redo different dialogue. But are we gonna believe this here on the channel? I don't know, because at the first start, no one believed the movie was coming, then the movie is coming, and then you read a report saying HBO Max bosses reveals what really held up Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it seems like they've been sitting on this for such a long time. So Warner Bros. Media is bringing Zack Snyder's movie to the screen potentially in 2021, but it's been a long time coming. The original Justice League movie hit the theaters in 2017. In an interview with Business Insider, HBO Max content chief Kevin Riley explained some of why the process took as long as it did. I forget when Zack and Deborah first gave us the sense of where they were heading. But even before that meeting, me and my team felt it was something we really wanted to do, Riley says, which is cool. The head guy, HBO Max, for the chief content guy, is wanting to do what the fans want. There was a bunch of issues involved to figure out how we could deliver on his version. And legal issues. We've been sitting on this for quite some time, but working on it. It was obviously a secret project given the high level of interest, but we were chipping away at it piece by piece. There were some strategies, but also some dependencies in how we got over the hurdles of some issues just before the launch. When pressed for more specifics, Riley declined to comment and go further into detail. That's a whole separate interview, he says. Let's file that as a follow-up. So it is interesting that they've been sat on this for such a long time, and then people be telling Warstu that your videos are clickbait for 6 months, and then I tell you I'm right, and you're like, well, you're just glowing. No, I'm not glowing. I was just telling you that I was right all along. So essentially, HBO Max have known about this for such a long time after AT&T came in and bought out Time Warner. Now, a lot of people are coming out with this narrative that AT&T know absolutely nothing about how Hollywood works. And then people are forgetting that a Time Warner company owned Warner Bros. And it's like, do you even know how Hollywood works? See, a lot of people who are for and against the Snyder Cut don't even understand how Hollywood works. It's just ridiculous. Now, the Ben Affleck story, that people seem to think that the Robert Pattinson 2021 movie, which they've already shot 25% of in UK, they seem to think it's going to be replaced with Ben Affleck. No. Some of you guys are getting the report wrong. The report is suggesting that Ben Affleck might come back to do his original movie with Deathstroke when them two were going to go one-on-one against each other, and that'll be an HBO Max movie. Now, they are investing a lot of time and money into making HBO Max great. Now, it's not available here in England when it launches, but it is going to be one of the best services. You've got literally all the Harry Potter movies. You've got all the DCEU movies. They're putting Joker on there, Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, literally all the Friends. They've got a lot of stuff, and obviously it's to do with legal issues and stuff like that, and contracts, because obviously a lot of Warner Bros. Owned property is currently on other platforms. It's going to have Game of Thrones and lots of cool stuff on there. So I honestly think if they are focusing on all this tension, and then we've got the Green Lantern series that's linked to Jeff Johns, which hopefully he won't ruin it. I don't really know if he's still linked to that, but it is interesting. So this article went on to say, when Zack and Debbie shared their extraordinary vision of where Zack wanted to take the Justice League, my team and our counterparts at Warner Bros. Took it as a mission to solve the many issues that stood in the way, said Kevin, Chief Content Officer at HBO Max, President, TTS, TBS, and True TV. Thanks to the partnership at Warner Bros. And the relentless pursuit of the entire Warner Max team, we were able to deliver the incredible, exciting moment for Zack and the fans of HBO Max. Now, I find this very interesting because throughout the years, there's been many insiders that have backtracked and said it was never coming, and now you've got insiders and people in the community backtracking, coming out saying, yeah, it's coming, and saying, oh, no, it's a bad thing, then going, yeah, it's a good thing because you're losing your argument online. It's just crazy that people pander so much. So it is interesting because everyone thought that Warner Bros. Hated Zack Snyder. There were never, ever, there was even scoops out there was saying stuff like, they are never going to work with Zack again. Warner Bros. Are never going to work out with Zack again. And they're working with Zack again. And I guarantee this would not be the only case. Then you've got people on the fence that, yeah, it's not going to make any difference because 300 sucked, Man of Steel sucked, Batman vs Superman sucked, Watchmen sucked, and it's like, do you guys even know this stuff? So you're saying all these movies suck, but you want to like praise how good Wonder Woman is, praise how good Aquaman is. Okay. Zack Snyder was involved in Wonder Woman. He casted Gal Gadot. He casted Jason Momoa as Aquaman. In fact, Zack Snyder even casted a lot of the pinnacle roles in the Wonder Woman. He persuaded Patty Jenkins to hire them. So it is pretty funny how Zack Snyder's involved in every movie indirectly without you guys even knowing about it. So this is just to clear up what is happening with this cut, because now it's going to cost more than $30 million, but HBO Max are committed. So I do think there will be new additional shots, new reshoots, and I do respect what Humberto Gonzalez says about he thinks there isn't going to be reshoots because he's been told differently from inside sources, and the fact that Gal Gadot's got lots of other things to do and Ezra Miller's got lots of other things to do. But if they want to do reshoots, I believe it could happen. It'd be so weird for Zack to agree to do something if it wasn't going to be what he wanted to put out. He said he would not put it out unless it was what he wanted to put out in the first place. So it's going to be cool to see release the Snyder Cut whenever it comes. I don't actually believe it's going to come 2021 because of what's happening in the world, man. We've got no idea what's happening. Now they're claiming that cinemas are going to reopen in UK on 4th of July with social distancing. But what is the point if cinemas are only going to get 20% capacity? It's very expensive to open and run a cinema, so I don't really see if it's actually going to come out next year. And also, if they need to do reshoots, these have to be scheduled in with all the main actors. Obviously, a lot of them are committed, and I think Henry Cavill is definitely on board, because why would he introduce it? Henry Cavill's only got The Witcher going on. That's all he's got going on, and they could do reshoots in between. It doesn't really take that long to shoot new scenes. They could do a bit here and there, Obviously, the ADR, the kind of automated dialogue replacement, the new dialogue, can be done from any studio. So it's going to be very interesting to see what new scenes are going to come in this movie. Now, obviously, there will be new scenes. Obviously, Darkseid, Martian Manhunter, more Green Lanterns. The whole core was supposed to be in there. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, I am going to stay quiet about Justice League Snyder Cut content from now on, unless something huge drops in the last few days, because I've been doing a lot of content on Justice League over the last 6 months, and I love the support, but there's no point keep talking about this subject unless something big's coming. Now, we do have a Man of Steel 2, Man of Tomorrow, Henry Cavill revealed video coming out in the next couple of days. It's already made. I just haven't uploaded it yet because I'm trying to wait to see if any new information comes out about it before we post it, but that will post later this week, most likely on Friday. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you haven't already, check me out on Twitter, WarstuGG, Instagram, Warstu, twitch.tv/Warstu, Facebook page, Warstu. If you want to reach out to me for any business or brand deals, warstubusiness@gmail.com, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.